Hi, everybody. This is Tom Grisak, and welcome to our new studio. Jason and I have been working on this now for a couple of weeks, trying to get everything right. So we'll be doing a lot of podcasts in here. And Alice Robison, one of our top agents, has agreed to join us and be the guinea pig on it. So thank you for
Yep.
that, Alice.
Yep. Happy to do it.
Yeah. One of the things I really like to do is have introduce our agents and let people know them on a personal level. Because unless you're in a transaction with them, that's when you really get to know somebody well. But and sometimes it can help the transaction go smoothly if there's a good working relationship. You know a little bit about the agents, and we have some tremendous agents. And Alice was such a I knew she'd be a heavy hitter before she even joined us. So I think you've been with us for 4 years
Yes.
now.
Right.
And the way she came to us is my wife knew Alice from maybe, I don't know, 6 years ago. I don't
hmm
remember how they connected. And she said, I think she'd be a great agent. So tell us how that all came about.
All right. So the timing wasn't right at the time, but I had been staying home with my kids, and I knew I wanted to go back to work in this industry. And so Rhonda had put something out on Facebook that there was a need on the team. So I reached out to her, and the timing didn't work out for me quite yet at that point. But we just stayed in touch. And so when I was ready to jump in, I didn't want to do anything halfway. I wanted to be able to go 100%. So when I was ready, I reached out and everything worked out.
And a funny story to that, we weren't really looking for another agent at that particular time. And the team leader at the time said, let's just hold off. And I didn't want to take a chance of losing Alice because I just felt so good about her. I knew she'd be a home run for us. And she turned out, how long did it take you to close your first deal?
Um, 2 or 3 months.
Which is fast. That's
Yeah.
really fast tracking because it
Yeah.
takes some agents, it might take a year to make
Yeah.
their first deal.
Yeah.
So to make one in your first 2 or 3 months, that's outstanding. And I mean, she has just been churning every year, and done some very large deals out here. She specializes in Lovejoy,
Mhm.
Fairview, Lucas, and Parker. Tell us about some of the deals that you've done out here.
Oh my gosh. Well, I've done a wide range of them. I am very fortunate to also live in the area where I primarily work. I'll work anywhere, but most of my deals
Right.
do end up falling in the Lovejoy area. And we just have the most beautiful homes out here because
Mhm.
it's not cookie cutter. Everything is different, and the topography is so beautiful, and every home is custom. So to pick a favorite is near impossible because I like the ones that were built in the 70s that were original back when this was just farmland
Right.
and people riding their horses.
Right.
I love those cute, small, unique ones with barns where they care more about their horses than
Mhm.
houses half the time. And then I have these grand, big, beautiful new builds that, approach $3 million in price that are just jaw-droppingly stunning on the inside and then everything in between. So I can't pick a favorite, but every single one is important to me.
And the great thing about Alice and all of our agents is it doesn't matter if the home is 300,000 or 3 million. We work just as hard for all those homes.
Mhm.
And some of my favorite homes were those 3 or 400,000 dollar homes
Yeah.
from years ago. I still remember those and think, what a neat home.
Yeah.
You
And
wish you had about 10 of them.
I completely agree. I don't ever think of it that way. And I have a new listing coming that is priced around 550 and I get along really well with the sellers. And they said, we didn't even know you worked in our price point. And I said, I don't even think about price point.
Right.
I work
Right.
them all the same. They all get the same level of attention and expertise. And I don't look at it that
Right.
way.
I'm glad you said that because we do hear this quite a bit. A home will close, and run into somebody said, "Oh gosh, I wish you'd called us on that, and we'd love to have sold that for you." And I said, "Well, we didn't think you'd be
hmm
interested."
hmm
And let me tell you, the less expensive homes are easier to sell than these, 400 $4 million home. So, absolutely, if you have a home, our wheelhouse is what I like to call it is Fairview, Lucas, and Parker. But if anywhere throughout Collin County, we can handle those homes
Yep.
and do it well. Okay, so tell me, where did you grow up? Where were you born?
Okay, well, I was born in Tyler, Texas, so East Texas, and I moved to Plano at 8, which is where I grew up, and I graduated from Plano Senior High School. So I've been in North Texas for most of my life. I started college at Louisiana State University, and I went there for 1 year, and then came back and finished at University of North Texas. And then when I graduated from there,
Degree? What was your degree?
my degree was in communications and
Okay.
marketing.
Yeah.
My minor was in marketing. My major was in communications, which I still use both of those
Yeah.
today in this
If
industry
you threw a
every day.
psychology in there, you'd have the trifecta.
Yeah, exactly. And then I moved to Dallas from there, where I lived for 14, 15 years before I moved up here about 10 years ago.
Mhm.
So I know this area so well. This
Yeah,
is my home.
right. And your husband,
Hmm.
how long have you been married?
Oh God, you're going to test me. 18 years. I got
Okay.
married in '06, so this year will be 19.
Boy, I better know that if somebody
You
asked me.
should have told me that question was
Yeah,
coming.
yeah. And how did you meet him? And
We met in my senior year of college, and we were playing on the same co-ed adult soccer team, just
oh,
having
cool.
fun. And we went out as a team afterwards for wings, beer, and just clicked. And
Hmm.
the rest is history.
And your kids?
So we'd have two boys together, a 14-year-old Mason. He's in 8th grade at Willow Springs in Lovejoy, and Harrison is in 5th grade. He's 11 at Sloan Creek in Love.
Okay. What made you think that you'd like real estate? Out of all the careers out there you
Yeah.
could have done, what was it about that you thought, I might enjoy doing that?
Well, I think what's originally enticing is what grabs a lot of people is people love homes and you love to see the inside of a home. In reality, that's about 2% of this job is
Hmm.
looking at beautiful homes. The
Right.
rest is negotiating
Exactly.
and marketing and paperwork, and it's not as glamorous. It's always, however you spin it, it's fun.
Right.
It's not always glamorous.
There's a
So
lot of grunt work,
there's a lot
and
of grunt work.
the payoff though is you've helped a buyer or seller out. They're on with their lives, and you feel
Hmm.
like you've been a part of making their lives better. So that's the reward we get as agents.
Yes.
And you've done about, we were talking about that earlier, probably 15 million in the last year. Would you say? Is that pretty close?
Yeah. Yeah. And production.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. That
And let
sounds
me
about
tell you,
right.
that is, believe it or not, the stats right now are 72% of the real estate agents didn't close a single deal last year. I think
Mhm.
that's the last stat I heard.
Mhm.
So it shows you how good Alice is putting a deal together. I've kind of suffered through some of her tougher deals with her. That's what's nice
Mhm.
about being on a team, is you can come in and you can kind of talk to everybody. We've all been through it, but she has a way of putting the deals together, keeping everybody happy. Don't let anybody, just go off the cliff. And you're very good at that. You're very polished, professional. I mean, you were a prototype real estate agent.
Well, thank
And of
you.
course, we didn't know all this before you joined us, but it didn't take long for me to see you on a tough transaction. That's how you really know how good
Mhm.
an agent is. And you've put some tough ones together.
Yeah.
Some of the toughest that I think we've had in the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
But
There's
you
been
made
some tough
them.
ones.
You made them all. Sometimes it's the agent on the other side. Unfortunately, sometimes the client may be unreasonable, and then it could be a mixture of a lot of things. But it's a tough business we're in. You've got to fight your way through those tough deals, or
Mhm.
you won't make them. Do you have any goals? Do you set them out before the year, or do you hard goals, or just kind
Yeah.
of in your mind? I'm thinking, I'd like to do this.
So I used to write my goals down if I was told to. I'm not good about doing it myself.
Yeah.
We all have our strengths and weaknesses. I
Right.
do always have something going in my mind. I'm competitive by nature, so
Hmm.
I always want to outperform myself. I want to beat
Right.
myself. And learn and get better. So it's always just a personal goal that I keep in my mind to close at least 2 transactions a month. That
Yeah.
is something, and that doesn't sound like a lot
That's a
if
lot.
to someone not in the
Yeah.
industry, but all the pieces and parts that go in. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes you meet a person and they don't even list their house for 18 months later,
Hmm.
and so you're nurturing that for 18 months. So when it closes, it might look like it was an easy deal, but really, there's all this back
Right.
work that's been done. So it's a lot to go into to pull that off, but that's kind of a constant thing that I try to maintain, and it keeps me just staying relevant and active, and then you're keeping up with your courses and everything on in the meantime too, and staying on top of the trends
Industry
and
changes, yeah,
industry
because our
changes and
industry is changing all the time.
yes.
Seems like we're getting new forms we have to understand and abide by,
Mhm.
especially this past year. It's been just almost chaotic. But so many people know you, Alice, and that's one of your strengths. You're just a nice, friendly person.
Thank
And
you.
you know a lot of people, and I think a lot of people respect you. And we certainly cherish our business with you, and we hope you're here for another 20 or 30
Oh,
years.
thank you. Well, and I'm grateful that you saw that in me in the beginning. I will always be grateful to you for that, and that it's worked out the way that it has, and been such a great fit for me. And I
Good,
love being here.
good. And thanks for being our guinea pig
Of
again on
course,
this.
yes, this is a great space. I'm glad we have it.
Yeah. So thank
Yes.
you all for watching this.